Pause for a moment. Breathe. If you found this video, it is not by accident. Something inside you recognizes a truth that your rational mind has been fighting against. You felt it, that inexplicable pull, that strange certainty that contradicts everything you can see with your physical eyes. This person you've been thinking about, the one who walked away, the one who created distance, the one whose silence has felt like a slow death, they have already made a choice. Not the choice you feared, the choice that will change everything. What I'm about to reveal to you will contradict every logical conclusion you've drawn. It will challenge the story of abandonment you've been telling yourself. And it will explain why your body has known something your mind refused to believe. You've been receiving signals, chest tightness at random hours, dreams that feel more real than memory, a magnetic pull toward your phone expecting their name to appear. These are not symptoms of delusion. They are evidence of an energetic decision that has already been made in the invisible realm. Carl Jung wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." That transformation has already begun, and you're about to understand why. Let me tell you what you've been experiencing, and I want you to know you are not imagining this. You've been waking up at 3 a.m. with their face in your mind and a heaviness in your chest that feels like grief, but also strangely like anticipation. You've been going about your day pretending you've moved on, and then suddenly a wave of their energy crashes over you so strongly that you have to stop what you're doing and just breathe through it. You've been feeling this pull that makes no logical sense. They haven't reached out. There's been silence, maybe even coldness. And yet, something in you keeps whispering, this isn't over. Something is happening. Something is shifting. You've questioned your sanity. You've told yourself to let go, to stop hoping, to accept reality. And yet, the feeling persists. The knowing persists. Not as desperation, that's what confuses you, but as quiet, unshakable certainty. This has been exhausting because you've been fighting two realities at once, the visible one that shows absence and the invisible one that screams presence. You've been living in the gap between what you can prove and what you can feel. Here's what I need you to understand. You are not illusional. You are not clinging to false hope. You are picking up on an energetic truth that precedes physical manifestation. If this resonates with your soul, write in the comments, I am ready to see what's real. Now, let me pull back the veil and show you what's actually happening in the realm you cannot see. Carl Jung spoke extensively about the concept of the collective unconscious, a shared field of consciousness where all souls are connected beneath the surface of individual identity. Within this field, decisions are made, paths are chosen, and energetic contracts are written long before they manifest in physical reality. This person has already chosen their path back to you, not in words, not in a text message drafted and deleted, but in the space where the soul makes its true commitments, in the realm of consciousness itself. Think of it like this. Imagine two people standing on opposite sides of a vast canyon. On the surface, they are separated, but beneath the ground their roots have been growing toward each other all along, creating an underground network of connection that was never broken, only invisible. What you've been feeling, those chest pangs, those sudden waves of their energy, that inexplicable knowing, these are the tremors of their movement through the unconscious terrain. They are already traveling the bridge back to you. You just cannot see the bridge because it's being constructed in the dimension of energy, not matter. Jung called this synchronicity, the meaningful coincidence of inner and outer events. Your inner knowing and their inner decision are synchronized, even though the outer manifestation has not yet caught up. But here's what you must understand. This return is not happening because they simply miss you or regret their choice. This is happening because they have encountered something far more profound. They have met their own shadow, and in that shadow they saw you. Let me explain the psychological and energetic mechanism at work here, because understanding this will help you stop interfering with the process. When this person first pulled away, they believed they were moving towards something better, something easier, something that demanded less of them. What they didn't understand is that in walking away from you, they were actually walking away from a part of themselves that you mirrored back to them. Jung taught that we are irresistibly drawn to people who carry our anima or animus, the unconscious image of the opposite sex that exists within our own psyche. When someone encounters their anima projection in another person, the relationship becomes a crucible for individuation, the process of becoming whole. This person ran because the relationship with you was forcing them to confront parts of themselves they had kept hidden. Your presence was a mirror showing them their capacity for depth, for vulnerability, for authentic love. And that terrified them. So they ran towards something superficial, something that let them stay asleep. But here's the mechanism you need to understand. You cannot run from your own soul. In their attempts to avoid the transformation you represented, they have been forced into an even more painful confrontation with themselves. Every shallow connection they've pursued has only magnified the absence of what you offered. Every distraction has only made the truth more obvious. Every day of your absence has carved the shape of you deeper into their consciousness. This is not about you chasing. This is not about you proving your worth. This is about the immutable law of psychological wholeness. A person can delay their individuation, but they cannot escape it. And you were and are part of their path to wholeness. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This person is discovering that they cannot become who they truly are without facing what you awakened in them. They have already chosen to return, not because they miss you in some casual sense, but because their soul has recognized that the path to their own wholeness runs directly through you. Now, let me give you the specific signs that confirm this energetic decision has already been made, even if you haven't seen physical evidence yet. You're experiencing sudden, powerful waves of their presence, not as wishful thinking, but as an almost physical sensation. This happens at random times, often when you're not even thinking about them. You might be cooking dinner, driving, or working, and suddenly it's as if they've entered the room. Your body reacts before your mind can process it. This is because they are thinking about you intensely in those moments. But more than that, they are making energetic decisions about you. Their consciousness is reaching toward you, testing the connection, trying to feel if the bridge is still there. You're seeing their name everywhere. Songs that remind you of them play at impossible moments. You encounter people who look like them, or who have their mannerisms. You see numbers that have significance to your connection, dates, times, sequences that feel like messages. Jung didn't believe these were coincidences. These are the universe's way of confirming energetic alignment. When two souls are moving toward each other in the unconscious, the physical world begins to mirror that movement through symbols. You've been having dreams where you're together, where things are resolved, where there's peace and connection. These dreams feel different from regular dreams. They have a quality of reality, of visitation, of something actually happening in another dimension. This is because In the realm of the collective unconscious, you are meeting. The reunion is rehearsing itself energetically before it can manifest physically. Your subconscious is preparing you for what's coming. Here's a crucial sign: you've noticed that you're no longer desperate. The anxiety has lifted. There's a strange calm, a knowing, a sense of it's already done. You might still feel confused, but underneath the confusion is peace. This shift in your energy is not random. It's happening because energetically, the decision has already been made. Your soul knows it, even if your mind is still catching up. When an energetic contract is signed in the unconscious, both parties begin to relax into the inevitability of it. If there was an ending, it felt incomplete. There was something left unsaid, undone, unfinished. This isn't just your perception, it's an energetic reality. When two souls have more work to do together, the universe does not allow clean closure. The ending will always feel like an ellipsis, not a period. If you're experiencing 3 or more of these signs, write in the comments, I recognize these signs. I trust what I feel. Now I need to tell you something difficult, something that might sting, but it's necessary for you to hear. The reason you haven't seen this choice manifest in physical reality yet is not because it isn't real. It's because you are interfering with the process through your doubt, your anxiety, and your attempts to force the timeline. Every time you reach out to check if they're thinking about you, every time you scan their social media for evidence, every time you vent to friends about how they should act, you are disturbing the energetic field where this decision is forming. Think of it like watching bread rise. The process is happening, the yeast is working, the dough is transforming. But if you keep opening the oven door to check on it, you let out the heat and the bread collapses. Your desperation creates an energetic countercurrent that pushes against their movement toward you, not because the universe is punishing you, but because desperation operates at a low frequency that cannot match the frequency of the reunion you're calling in. Jung spoke about the concept of enantiodromia, the tendency of things to transform into their opposite when taken to extremes. Your excessive focus on their return is paradoxically delaying it. Your fear that it won't happen is creating the very resistance you're trying to overcome. I say this with compassion. You have been operating from lack instead of trust. You have been trying to control the outcome instead of allowing the process. You have been seeking evidence in the external world to validate what you already know in the internal world. This is why it feels so exhausting. You're working against the natural flow instead of moving with it. The block is not their free will. The block is not divine timing being cruel. The block is your own resistance to surrendering to what you already know is true. So what do you do now? How do you stop interfering and start allowing? First, you must make a radical internal shift. Stop trying to manifest their return and start embodying the frequency of someone who already has what they desire. This is not a trick. This is not manipulation.
This is alignment with energetic law. When you are constantly checking, hoping, waiting, analyzing, you are broadcasting the frequency of absence. You are telling the universe, I don't have this, I need this, I am incomplete without this, and the universe, in its perfect mirroring function, continues to reflect that lack back to you.
But when you drop into a state of calm knowing, when you go about your life with quiet certainty that what is yours will find you, you broadcast the frequency of someone who is already fulfilled, and that frequency is magnetic. Here's your practice. Step 1, stop monitoring, remove yourself from all forms of checking on them. No social media stalking, no asking mutual friends for updates, no driving by their house or workplace. Every act of monitoring is an act of doubt. Trust requires that you look away. Step 2. Reclaim your energy, all the energy you've been sending toward them, the worry, the hope, the analysis, call it back. Imagine a golden thread that has been stretched between you, and visualize pulling that thread back into your own heart. This is not closing the connection, this is stopping the energetic drain. Step 3. Fill your own cup, focus obsessively on your own life. Not as distraction, but as devotion. What have you been neglecting? What dreams have you put on hold? What parts of yourself have been waiting for you to return to them? Pour your energy there. Jung said, your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Wake up to your own life. Become so absorbed in your own becoming that you forget to wait. Step 4. Embody the outcome. This is the secret. Feel now what you would feel if they were already back. Not the desperate relief, that's still coming from lack. Feel the peaceful contentment, the quiet joy, the sense of rightness. Practice that feeling every day, independent of external evidence. Step 5. Trust the timing, the hardest part. Accept that you do not control when this manifests. Your job is not to force the timeline. Your job is to hold the frequency and trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you. When you make this shift, when you stop pushing and start trusting, you will notice something miraculous. The physical manifestation speeds up. Not because you're doing a technique correctly, but because you've removed yourself as the obstacle. Now let me paint you a picture of what happens when you fully embody this shift. First, something inside you will change. That constant tension in your chest, the one that's been there for weeks or months, it will release. You'll take a full breath, maybe for the first time in a long time, and you'll realize, I'm okay. Right now, in this moment, I'm actually okay. You'll start to feel lighter. Colors will seem brighter. Music will move you again. You'll laugh at something genuinely funny instead of performing joy. This is not distraction from your desire. This is alignment with your true frequency. And as you settle into this frequency, the external world will begin to shift. They will feel it. They cannot not feel it. Because when you stop chasing, you stop being the pursued. When you reclaim your sovereignty, you become magnetic in a way that neediness never could be. You will notice that you start to appear in their dreams more frequently. They will find themselves thinking about you at odd hours. They will stumble across reminders of you everywhere. The synchronicities will begin to happen on their side, pulling them toward the choice they've already made. And then, when the timing is perfect, when you have fully embodied your own wholeness, they will reach out. But here's what will shock you. By the time they do, you might not need them to. Not because you don't love them, not because the connection wasn't real, but because in the process of letting go of your desperate need for their return, you discovered something more valuable yourself. You will have become someone who knows their own worth, someone who trusts the universe, someone who can receive love without clinging to it, someone who understands that another person does not complete you, they complement an already whole being. And that version of you, that is the you they fell in love with in the first place. That is the you they've been trying to find their way back to. Whether they return tomorrow, next month, or next year, you win. Because you got yourself back. You remembered your power. You stopped living in the prison of waiting and stepped into the freedom of becoming. Jung said, the shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. There is no universal timeline for when this manifestation will occur. But there is a universal truth. What is yours cannot be taken from you. And what is not yours was never meant to stay. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to make a declaration, not to them, not to me, but to yourself and to the universe that's been orchestrating this entire journey. Write in the comments, I release the need to control the timing. What is mine will find me. Say it out loud if you need to. Let it reverberate through your body. Let it be the sword that cuts the cord of anxiety. And if this video has given you the clarity you needed, if it's helped you understand what you've been feeling, I need you to subscribe to this channel. Because next week I'm releasing a video that will reveal the specific psychological pattern that determines whether a soul connection results in union or separation, and how to ensure you're on the right side of that pattern. This is not the end of your story. This is not even the middle. This is the moment right before everything changes. And you had to find this video, read these words, and remember this truth so that you would be ready for what comes next. You are not broken. You are not abandoned. You are being refined. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that the person who has already chosen the path back to you will arrive exactly when you're ready to receive them, not from a place of need, but from a place of overflowing abundance. The universe is not cruel. The universe is precise. Everything is happening exactly as it should. I'll see you in the next video.